Hey everybody, Norm from Tested here, and once again we're welcoming Matt from Prop Store into our studio. Matt, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you, Norm?
Oh, doing really well. Now, a while ago, last year, you guys had this incredible auction from the movie Warcraft. This is a Duncan Jones film.
Yes, and obviously based on World of Warcraft. It's been the online role-playing game forever, kind of like the one that started it all in a big way. But then the stuff from the movie is just kind of unreal when you look at it in person. So
it was
happy to
so
walk you guys through
incredible.
it.
Like, this is the armor that Adam put on in that first video, and it wasn't just armor; it was weapons, hand props, set decoration pieces.
Even all the armor pieces down to the underpinnings, all that, very accurate, but still very, armor especially really comfortable, more mobile and lightweight than you would in, an actual suit of armor. They made it usable, most of this stuff, so it's very cool.
Beautiful stuff that did really well. I was following the auction along, and you had lots of like a dozen spears and sword racks.
Yeah, we've got some more of that stuff coming out. Big groups of halberds and racks on those. And stuff like that. It's really like, if you wanted to, you could recreate Stormwind in your man cave.
Well, that's the thing we're talking about today, because there is this new auction going on right now.
Yes, right now from July 1st to July 12th. So anybody interested, take a look.
And we want to talk about some of these pieces because it's amazing that you brought this up to our studio. Let's start off with the orc here.
Happily.
Because the orc in the film they were of course CG.
Yes,
You of course had Paul Patton play the half orc, half human character. But what is something like this used for?
So this was just an on-set reference. Now, like it kind of sounds crazy. Somebody came in before and thought it was a mask, because it's painted up and ready to go. But literally, there's handles on the back of it here, even if you look. And it was brought on set to get lighting references for what the actual skin would be, and then used later on for the CG artists to make the characters.
That is silicone, right?
Yeah.
So this must have been, someone must have either sculpted it by hand or digitally sculpted. They must have made a mold, cast it in silicone. You have actual hair punching. That's a lot of actual physical work.
And painted up so beautifully too,
Amazingly painted.
It's actually the same kind of thought behind the big orc weapons, like the axe here too, which we've got a lot of axes and stuff like that. But the idea would be that no actors really used this on set. It was on-set reference, lighting reference, and then redone later. You'll see in the auction we have some big like foam versions of swords and stuff, almost like big LARP-ready type things. That's what they used on set. But this is definitely, bringing the world to life here with this type of thing.
I know Weta did a lot of the costumes and armor for this, and I remember visiting them a couple years ago, and they did some work on like Thor Ragnarok, and they made like Hulk's, helmet and his
big hammer and stuff, right?
And that was also for CG reference because the digital artist would then recreate that, and of course that's what they're doing here.
It also must just be fun to make too, right? Like you want to be on this movie and make this big giant axe and go to town with it,
Wow. Okay, physical reference, things that were on set, but things that were also on set decoration. And you have a tapestry here.
Yeah, actually this tablecloth is a tapestry from the throne room, from King Lane's throne room, which has the lion logo on it, which you'll see that as a theme throughout a lot of this stuff. A lot of the humans stuff has the lion logo. And then from the war room, kind of, not this map necessarily, but there was a lot of maps in the movie, and this is of course Azeroth here. And they had the little like war room figurines to set up where all the armies and forces are going to be going to.
I remember the scene, right?
Yeah.
They're planning their big confrontation. You have almost like the Hex, they got to go back to the RTS origins of Warcraft, and they had these figurines on the table planning out their battles. But even stuff like this, I'm trying to see, I can see it was originally maybe designed computer, 3D printed,
so,
but then hand painted and very beautiful.
But just kind of goes to the theme of the movie where everything had to be made, even down to like they couldn't just get like a little figure of a knight. It had to be accurate. Like this is the costume that's standing right behind you,
That's absolutely right.
Very cool.
And even the edges of this map here, weathering, it's nice.
Aged up and modeled, and nice parchment paper to begin with, and then just printed really, really nicely.
Super cool. When they went into battle, of course, more weapons on the human side. You have something that, it's a fantasy film, so they had their boomsticks and hand cannons.
This is Lothar's boomstick from the film. You can actually see the little dwarf symbol over here, because the dwarves made all the weaponry. Same with, you've got a boomstick, I got the hand cannon, don't be jealous, but a little bit bigger over here.
Now, what's super interesting to me, these are both stunt weapons,
yes.
stunt props. So this is a foam casting. I can see the seam line down here.
Seemingly solid foam, too.
Yeah, very solid. It's good weight, too. But it's not going to hurt you if it bangs against someone. This is hand painted. So you see like all this detail here. Like they were probably stencils that went on and then some type of painting.
Some sort of cover over it.
Right. And then what's interesting here, and I look close, this almost looks like a vinyl application here.
Oh, you're right.
It's like there's a little bit of relief.
Little straighter
to
too,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so controlled.
Different applications to get that detail, but when you're reading at this distance from what you're viewing, it reads like gold.
Unstoppable.
That's so cool. And this also goes with that?
Yes, that goes with Lothar's hand boomstick over there.
The filled gunpowder?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. And getting a look at the foam props here, this is a great opportunity to talk about the progression of just different materials used for props, right?
Yes,
hand props. And that's why you've brought these 3 swords here.
Totally exemplified in these swords, exactly. So we've got foam, we've got usable, foam sword. Anytime you see people running into battle in the movies wielding big swords like this, it's this, somewhat safe,
I mean, I've heard stories that on set, sometimes the stunt props, the foam props, are what causes the most scuffs and maybe light injuries on set, because people just like to swing the stuff around.
And you want to play with it, especially if you're wearing this thing, you're running around, I get that. But so these are even on camera, they look pretty good. They look very real.
And
but
super
all painted
interesting.
up. Yeah.
Because I can compare this to what you have down the line here.
Yes.
And this looks like it's real metal.
Right. This is King Lane's stunt sword, so it looks really good. It actually goes along with this shield over here. But these are both resin. These are both painted up beautifully.
Oh yeah. Okay. I feel it's urethane.
Yep.
And yeah, it is a testament to the paint job, the paint application here. Because whatever Weta is doing to make this resin look super shiny.
That reflective shine.
Yeah,
right?
this is, wow. And it holds up, and it's weathered in a way, so it's shiny, but looks like it's seen action too.
Exactly. It's not his first battle,
And same with the lion, the sculpt here is so beautiful.
Yep.
You have like tiny etchings in here, tiny inscriptions. You got a jewel in here. That is a beautiful sculpt. And even the handle, wow.
Yeah, the top here almost have a crown effect, for the king and all that.
That is incredible.
It's lush. It looks like a ruler's sword,
And even though it's still technically a stunt sword, it has a good heft.
Has some heft to it.
Yeah.
Some heft to it. All the heft is in the third sword.
Okay. This. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a little bit heavy. What's this?
So this was used for the knights in the movie. But this is one of the steel swords that they made. They made a steel version of all the different swords in the movie. We sold like King Lane's and Lothar's last time, but this is in this auction now. Oh my God. And it's just like, you can tell the difference, right?
What?
Just holding it. If you're not prepared for it, you can't even pick it up sometimes.
I mean, this must have come out of Peter Lyon's workshop, and I know even carved out here, to reduce some of the weight, it's still so hefty.
And again, with the details, with the filigree, with all the different symbols going along the blade here, and of course leading into the lion and similar handle up there too.
And this is like really characteristic of the aesthetic style that was chosen for the film.
Yes.
Right? Like Weta made swords for, they made swords for a bunch of films, fantasy films, historical films.
Lord of the Rings, of
Lord
course.
Lord of the Rings, of course. But the swords for Lord of the Rings are very different than the swords for Warcraft.
Yes, well, the source material is so different too. We're coming from World of Warcraft, which has a very cartoony look to it. You got big giant vambraces and all this stuff. And how do you translate that cartooniness into a more real world feel? And I think they captured it kind of throughout, even with the design of the orcs to their weapons down to the more human, more recognizable stuff. You can tell that it's just a bit heightened,
Oh, I mean, just having this on our studio table right here feels a little bit like set decorating.
Yeah, it does.
For part of the set, and that is so cool. Matt, thank you so much for bringing this stuff in. So every piece here is a part of the auction?
Everything's a part of the auction, which is going till July 12th. So please log in and bid and check out the rest of it. We've got over 400 lots from Warcraft in there, and all original like this, all built for the movie.
And like I said, it was unfathomable the number of pieces made for the film. So even though there might not be a ton of these orc characters, just one of these, there were a ton of swords, a ton of spears.
If you're a fan, we hope that you can get something, whether it's going to be a steel sword or down to the foam swords.
Yeah, and who knows if they'll make another Warcraft movie anytime soon. So this might be your only chance to get a piece of Azeroth.